Hey there, guys. What's up? So I wasn't going to say anything about this because I didn't think it mattered, but enough people mentioned it. So yes, I chopped my hair off. A few weeks ago, I proudly was able to donate 12 inches of hair to Locks of Love. So that was really cool. But here's the thing. When you cut 12 inches of hair off of yourself, you literally become lighter. Like that hair weighs at least a pound or two because I have thick hair. And the second that it came off, it was like, why didn't I do this earlier? Quarantine, that's why, but I digress. Why didn't I do this earlier? It was so liberating. And I was so happy to have cut that out. I don't have to worry about my hair getting set on fire by my candles because that almost happened, or getting in the way when working out. It's just awesome. It's awesome. And so this kind of got me on a spree where I was like, what else can I cut out of my life? I'm so over all this BS. And I think it might be time to do a version of that in our own businesses. So it's kind of like spring cleaning, right? Going after the things that we become complacent to because it's easy. Easier than making a change. So in business, you do have to make changes. We can't go forward and continue to do things that obviously aren't working just to maintain the status quo. But it's hard to know when it's time to cut something out and maybe when you're just feeling antsy or not sure. So here are a couple of situations in a business where it might be time to cut stuff out. The first one is the most important, and that's if something is just bleeding money. And I mean just a big stream, a gush of money out the door. If you are just not seeing a return on something, whether it's pay-per-click ads, whether it's a new product, that might be the sign that it's time to stop. And I know that there's all these stories we hear about successful people bleeding money on something, but it ended up being worth it. And so absolutely, spending a lot of money on something can lead to great results. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but I know that a lot of the people watching this are small business owners or solopreneurs like myself. And we cannot afford to bleed money on something. It's just not sustainable. So if something is costing you a ton of money, and you're just not seeing a return, it's time to cut that out, whatever it is. The second situation where it's time to cut something out is if it does not align with your values. So I had a potential client reach out to me, and we were vibing really well. Everything seemed fine. We were talking about getting a contract in place, and I did my standard, which was I Googled them. I Googled people I work with to make sure that there's nothing shady going on. There was something shady going on. I found out that they were not someone I wanted to work with. So before we got to the contract phase, I said, hey, I'm not comfortable with this anymore. I'm not comfortable with being involved in this project. I wish you the best of luck. So whether you find information on a project or a client that changes your mind, or your gut is telling you something's not right, then something's not right. Cut that out. Don't try to force it. There's more fish in the sea. Something else good will happen to you. Trying to force something to work when it doesn't align with who you are, it's never a good business move, and it's not a good move for you as a human being either. And the third sign it's time to cut something out is that it just comes with emotional baggage. So I think we've all had this client where you dread them calling you just because it's stressful, or they've just got a lot of baggage, or the project's just really messy, or whatever it is, you just are on alert when they call you and it's oh no. And instead of continuing to subject yourself to that experience, just cut it out. Just stop going through that roller coaster, whatever it is, whether it's with a vendor or a client or a certain project. The purpose of being in business for yourself is to build something that you enjoy. I'm not going to say that it's awesome 100% of the time. Bad stuff's going to happen. That's life. But you don't have to subject yourself to emotional problems in business if you don't want them, and you probably don't want them. So cut them out. I know in business we talk about hiring vendors and getting new apps and trying to find new clients, and those things are awesome and they're important, but we also need to consider the end. What is the end of that relationship going to look like? When do you cut things out and when do you keep them? And for me, it comes down to these three factors, but everybody's different. So sometimes it helps to lead with your gut and also lead with the data. And I think that's the key to making a good decision. So if you've been looking for a sign, this is it. Cut out things that aren't working for you, and you will lead not only a happier life, but also a healthier business. So until next week, keep writing.